Hey, wholesome humans, and welcome to the Ash Gracie podcast. Wow, that's weird to say. So you know when a friend randomly comes up to you and says that they're going to reinvent their life completely, and then proceeds to list a bunch of crazy things that they're going to do to change their life? Well, this is that. Kind of. I'm just starting with a not so crazy idea. Yes, you heard that right. I'm starting a podcast. Why? Well, there are three main reasons. 1. Simply because I think it will help this roller coaster of a journey that I've been on with my mental health. For those of you that know me well, you'll know that I have struggled with my mental health and have been for the last few years. There have been ups and there have been downs. And although this summer has had its good moments, don't get me wrong, but in regards to my mental health, let's just say it's been an absolute train wreck. 2. All my life, even to this day, one of my biggest goals in life is to give a TED Talk. When I was younger, first, obviously, as you know, I'm a theater kid, so of course I was involved in drama. But I was also involved in public speaking. And, fun fact, I even won the 68th Hong Kong Speech Festival, if anyone was wondering. And then, in 2017, my school hosted their own version of TED Talks. Not to be mistaken for a TEDx talk, as my school was adamant that they were in no way, shape, or form the same thing, even though they kind of are. Anyway, I spoke at these talks twice, once in March and once in November, and I was the youngest ever to do so in my school at the age of 13. From then on, I always had the idea of things that I wanted to say, and so I compiled a document titled The TED Talk I Will Eventually Do. And every time I had an idea that I wanted to talk about, or found a subject that I found I could talk for hours about, I wrote it down. And I've been doing this for years. It started off as bullet points in this document, and then more ideas came when I was out and on the go, and so I put them down into my notes app, as one does. And sometimes, if I didn't know how to type things down, I would make voice recordings and I would record my thoughts. Not to listen back to, but just to document. And then, after a while, more and more of these thoughts became in my notes, or in voice recordings, or written on a piece of paper somewhere. And I don't actually know where that original document is, that I made, but I still have all of those ideas. They never left. And so last week, I decided that I just had too much to say, and that it all couldn't go in one talk. Because I wanted to make a statement, as one does. And so even though one day I still want to deliver a TED Talk, for now, I decided that I could put all my thoughts and all the things that I want to say on this podcast. And thus, the Ash Gracie podcast was born. 2 days ago, but that's besides the point. Why Ash Gracie? I'm sure you're all wondering. Well, if you didn't already know, Ash are my initials, ASH. That is the name that I give Starbucks baristas, because I am pretty sure that they are not going to know how to spell my name. And Gracie, because the meaning of my name is actually grace. And so I wanted to combine the two, and I actually created this name a few years ago as an alias for a project that I didn't know that I would be starting. And here we are, and I've finally made a use out of it, and I'm really excited for you to join the journey of the Ash Gracie podcast. 3rd, inspiration, which, as I'm sure you've seen, is the title of today's episode. One thing about me, if you don't already know, is that I love to learn. I love to learn about people. I love to learn new facts. I love to visit new countries. I love to learn new languages. The list can go on, and it does. One of the things that I have learned within the past 18 years of my life is that you truly can learn from anyone. You learn what you like, you learn what you don't like, and you learn what makes you you. And so, through this journey of constantly learning, I have found that my biggest inspirations don't come from the places that I've been or the experiences that I've had, but from the people that I surround myself with. And these are the lessons and the memories that I have come to cherish the most, more than anything else in this world. They say that you are a combination of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most, and I fully believe that this is true. And because those 5 people will constantly change throughout your lifetime, that means you will too, and that's okay. There are still habits that I do to this day that I picked up from people who were my friends 5 years ago, maybe even longer. One of my friends in middle school always typed in pure lowercase letters, and to this day, I still do that, unless I'm being polite to a teacher, of course, or, something along those lines. But anyway, back to the point. No matter what version of yourself you currently are, and no matter who are currently the closest people in your life right now, in my opinion, the key to life is inspiration. Hear me out. I think that inspiration should be the drive to your life. In short, the things that inspire you should basically be the reason that you want to be alive. Because at the end of the day, the only way that you're going to be the perfect version of yourself, living your dream life, is if you know what that is. Because although we all say we want to be living our dream life, we all want to be the best version of ourselves, and we all want life to be perfect, because of course, who doesn't? If you don't specifically know what that is, then you're never going to get there. And I must stress, it's okay not to know what that is right now. It's okay to not know every detail of the dream life that you want to live. You don't need to know what country you want to be in, what kind of house you want to be in, what kind of job you want to be in. And it's okay. It's okay not to know what you want to be doing in 10 years or even 5. People always say to make long-term plans and goals for the future, but some of us just don't know. And honestly, I don't either. I don't know what I want to do once I've graduated college, and I don't need to know right now. Instead of thinking about so far away in the future, think about now. What do you want to be doing now? Is there something in life that you've always wanted to do? I'm sure you can think of at least one thing. And once you think of that thing, the question I want to ask is, why aren't you doing that thing now? Because if not now, when? If there are things you want to achieve in a year's time that right now just seem too intimidating, then you have to break it down. What are you going to do every month to get to that goal? Every week? And what are you going to do today to get one step closer to where you want to be this time next year? That's what you should be doing. That's how you should be thinking. And this is what you need to implement into your daily life. Of course, easier said than done, like most things in life are. But it's absolutely okay to take it one step at a time, and sooner, before you know it, the things that you want in life will be yours, because you have been making a little bit of progress every day to get to where you want to be. That is the only way, and I stress, the only way that is going to happen. Because if you don't, then you're never going to get the life you want. And of course, there might be things beyond your control, and there might be things that a higher power may bless you with that will add to you building your goals, but I'll save that for another episode. So the question that I have to leave you off with today is, what inspires you And how are you going to do something about it? So think on that, and I'll see you next episode. And don't forget, you are amazing, you are loved, and I thank you for being here.